Hey guys, it's Matt. Was just going back and forth with TJ. TJ's shared a lot of very interesting and very insightful comments with me over the years. Trusted source of information. But we fell down into the chase rabbit hole again. I'll tell you what happened. And I just can't reiterate enough. Reiterate or reiterate, it doesn't matter. I can't reiterate enough that if you are in the truth community, we try to analyze what's going on. You know, how's exactly this happening? How exactly is that happening? We try to figure it out. That's exactly what it wants. If you're analyzing at this point, if you've been with me several years or been doing this since 2010, 2012, like many of us, and you're still analyzing the world as if it's real, as if everything that came to be must or can be figured out by what's in your toy box. Lift up the toy box. This is known reality. It's a joke at this point, guys. I can't stress enough how far past I am of analyzing the world as if it's real. Well, how can it be analyzed if it's not real? Well, isn't that the point? That's exactly the point. Let me just tell you the chase that TJ and I went down. And then when you've done this so many years and done it for so long, this just can't keep happening in a real world. Okay, if you're watching YouTube channels that are analyzing the world, like all these BitChute channels and all this stuff, mostly about the sea, how this company's connected and this person's connected here, that it's impossible. It reads, if somebody gave it to you as a novel, you'd put it down. This can't happen. It's a joke. It's not psychologically sound. The reality itself is not psychologically sound. I'll talk about the one chase exercise I did with TJ, and then see if it was just this on its own. But now we've done this 1,000 times. This is impossible. So let me just get to it. Matt, get to it. Um, TJ sends me. Usually we're not chasing like this, TJ and I. He's a much bigger thinker, but we all fall back into it, and I appreciate him sending it to me. Matt, did you see James Woods talking about that he was on a flight before somebody in his family submitted the 7-Eleven job application? He was on a flight where they were doing a practice run. James Woods, no, obviously I don't believe in it. TJ doesn't believe in it. Whatever. For some reason, there's a segment of the truth community has taken James Woods in as some sort of friend or something, which is just ridiculous. I don't know why that is or what he said or done. But of course, if he came right out of Hollywood like that, he's no friend. Just like who's that channel, that creepy guy. Oh gosh, I'll think of it in a second. Who has a big YouTube channel, who is in a lot of movies. I mean, that's an absolute joke too. But he said, did you see where James Woods went on O'Reilly or whatever it was in 2004 or 2005 or 6 or 7? And he said, I approached the pilot, and he's recounting a story. Of course, the flight was before the job application, and he's saying, I want to talk to the pilot. I'm James Woods, and of course, anybody, if you're James Woods, you can talk to the pilot. You try to talk to the pilot sometime and see how that goes. He said, they're doing a practice run here. I don't know, but these guys are T-isms. They're T-isms. And we need to, I didn't watch the rest of the interview. TJ was like, did you ever see it? I'm like, no, I never saw this. But first I thought, I'm not going to call it a Mandela effect. I'm not going to go there every time. There's certain people in this community that if you don't know about one thing, oh, then it must be a Mandela effect. But it was just strange to me that, okay, I've been doing this 7 days a week, since 2010 or 2009, and I've never heard of this until a few weeks ago. How James Woods explained that I was on a flight where they were doing some sort of practice run. You got to watch these guys. And I was just going back and forth with TJ, like, how is this possible that I didn't know about it? Okay, look, I missed it. Fine. I'm not going to chalk it up to some retrocausality or some metaphysical event just in case I missed something. I missed it. Okay, whatever. It's just odd, though. Okay, it's neither here nor there. Don't read into that. But then Um, TJ sent me some stuff about how many times James Woods has appeared in The Family Guy, And you know the predictive programmings that have come through the Family Guy, most notably the one before the Boston Marathon. Before that event, the Family Guy is seen as with his car mowing down people, rolling over people at the finish line. Later in the episode, in the Family Guy, he sets off two explosive devices. I mean, the Family Guy is pretty much as creepy as The Simpsons in this regard. But he said, look, here's the James Woods has appeared in several Family Guy episodes, but this one, and I didn't watch the episode or anything, and I don't even know the nature of it, but it aired on September the 11th, 2005, 2005, as the 11th episode. So, in and of itself, guys, this is no monumental, people like I sat through this video this long for this. This is no monumental breakthrough here, what I'm presenting. Saying it's just another case where this connects to this, connects to this, connects to this, connects to that. I mean, come on, it's a joke. James Woods says they're doing a practice run. Then he appears in The Family Guy, airs September 11th, 2005, on the date, the 11th episode of the whatever season. It's an absolute joke. And of course, I'll say it for the thousandth time. If you think it's just called in and coordinated by secret societies, I mean, they're laughing at you all the way. I mean, how I have to say to the bank, what else do you say after that? I was going to say laughing all the way until we all go into the grave. If you're going to pursue reality like it's all real, these BitChute um, videos are following the same script as the 7-Eleven job application. See, if you've been doing this long enough and you can back up far enough and look down at it, you see the same patterns developing, the same fractal repeats over and over. No real world could pull this off with people running around. And again, I'm going to reiterate that this world is just not real over and over again until at least the people that want to stick with me long enough get that. Many of you already do. I'm aware of it. We have different types of people here, but I'm going to continue to point that out in videos for as long as this channel exists, for as long as free voice exists. That's just and I'm going to do that using impossible connections, coincidence, synchronicities, um, messages coming through movies and forms of media. If I'm just going to continue to do that. Hopefully, I can do that in a way that people that already see that find it interesting. But there's just still a huge segment of the truth community that analyzes these events or analyzes anything that they come across using only what's between their bookends of known reality, only which I'm changing to what's in the toy box, only what's in their toy box. It's got to be in here somewhere how they did it because this is how known reality works. There's so much going on outside your toy box. So it wasn't any monumental story of what happened between me and TJ, but I'm just saying, okay, something like this by itself doesn't prove anything. But when this mini chase, this is the say thousand, not no, it could be the 5,000th time I've been on a mini chase that produced some weird connection, synchronicity. The fractal of what played out on the 7-Eleven job application is basically what's happening now with C. You have all these company connections. When you look into it, we have, who stands to gain, the corporate interests, the patents. And in terms of with the 7-Eleven job application, I don't know if it was Corbett Report or one of these channels did the map of all the corporations and military contractors that are somehow connected through SAIC and PNAC and this white paper from the Rockefeller Foundation and this and that. And it was just this huge map. And you can just, once you get a sense that, there's no way any normal reality could pull this off, you could just look at the 9/11 map and go, this is just not possible. But he could pull this off. But then the same patterns repeat now. Um, And especially if you are all over BitChute. I mean, you know, it's just one, it's just one chase regarding the C thing now. One chase and rabbit hole after another. And most of the people you watch are not, they're not in on it. They're not plants from the deep state. Some are, in my opinion, absolutely. Some are, or whatever darkness here where the minions actually know their role. There's much of that going on, but I don't think most of them are. Somehow they're serving exactly what the reality wants to serve up: the chase, the distraction, and if you haven't been doing it long enough, it is hard to see the connections. But guys, I always go back to the same thing. Just the Kennedy to Lincoln synchronicities by itself, without the thousand things we've looked at for the 7-Eleven job application, without the thousand weird connections to C, which related to Kobe, in 10 major ways, one event related and just morphed into the other. Um, it's a joke. There's uh, I will not watch a YouTube channel that tries to figure things out based on what's in their toy box. They're laughing at that. Maybe not all the way to the bank, but all the way till say we've got this person distracted till the day they die. And this does relate to the last video, the simple half page or the one page. The distraction is so pathetic and so obvious that in the patterns it puts forth. You just see it and go, this is ridiculous. I mean, and you could have bigger theories on what's going on related to why does the reality itself working through its minions, and with the minions are mostly unaware of even how they're serving it, in my opinion. Why is it out to take me off the path? What does it want to distract me from? And it relates to the five things that we can be doing for ourselves or should be doing for ourselves that was presented in the last video. But I mean, just when you watch YouTube channels and just ask yourself, we're all addicted to the chase to a degree. I'm fascinated when TJ says, "Oh, James Earl Woods, that's Tiger Woods' father." Or James Woods was this, and then a Family Guy connection. And oh, look at the date of this episode, September 11th, 2005, the 11th episode, and then one thing connects to the other, and it just a little mini chase happened today. I'm fascinated by it, but just realize we're all addicted to it. Make sure you always look at it like, okay, I'm going to do this, but it's fun. I'm not going to get caught up in it. And if you have that mindset, that's fine. But if you watch a YouTube video and the presenter is like literally like presenting that everything is real, I mean, I would say people watching that have a lot of work to do. Because when you've been doing it long enough and you see the repeating patterns, the repeating absurdities, the repeating themes, um, no matter what the topic, um, maybe people say it's a cop out, Matt, when you say, you're not spending time on the impossible architecture anymore. And you don't know how it was done. You don't know how it was built. It's just a cop out to say, if you want to call it a cop out, it's a cop out. I'll say the reality saw to it. You want to call that a cop out? Call it a cop out. If you want to chase it, I'm pretty sure it's exactly what it wants. What does your inner knowing tell you? We're going to chase it. We're going to figure out exactly how this was done, exactly how Tartari was presented, exactly how the mud-flooded images are pulled off, and all this is pulled off, and that's pulled off, and that's pulled off, pulled off. You can. What does your inner knowing tell you? One day you're just going to figure it out. You're just going to. It's one day there's going to be like a YouTube video or a BitChute video. It's going to have a big halo around it, a glow, and it's going to just go, oh, that the chorus of angels, and it's going to reveal exactly everything and how they're doing it. Or is it probably just going to be another chase? Yeah, inner knowing tells you it's just going to be probably another chase, right? Do it for fun, but beware of the fear channels. Beware of the channels that take things not too seriously, because that implies that there's an element of the presenter that sees it's not very real. Beware the channels that are just trying to chase this stuff down like it's all real. And I'm seeing that with the endless conspiracy related to every possible connection regarding the C and the V regarding these BitChute videos. I mean, it will gobble up every waking moment. There's so much stuff out there. Oh, I knew the Rockefeller Foundation was connected through the Ford Foundation, and I just like they had the patent on Zika. The Rockefeller Foundation had the patent on Zika virus, and it's the reality is the event horizon. It will show you that. Nobody could have pulled off all the connections between Kobe and the helicopter. There's 10 ridiculous conspiracy connections. The conspiracy just for the event by itself was impossible. So just when you can see just the Kennedy to Lincoln synchronicities of how Lincoln's VP was Johnson, Kennedy's VP was Johnson, um, Kennedy had a secretary named Lincoln, Lincoln had a secretary named Kennedy. Um, it's just, but that by itself, whether you believe, however real you believe the world to be, that could not be if you believe the world to be completely explained by what's in your toy box. There's no there's no all way all of that could have been laid down. Even if somebody's yelling at me right now saying, well, Matt, you don't know the backstory on Lincoln. They might have just created that for the history books to match to create these synchronicities with Kennedy. Do you really know that Lincoln had a secretary named, and I think in the case of the secretary in this case, it doesn't imply woman, man, or woman, but Lincoln had a secretary named Kennedy. I mean, do you know that for sure? How would anybody know that? But in terms of just the planting of the historical records, you could go into the Library of Congress or the ancient books room of the University of Virginia or the ancient books room or the rare books room of Southern Cal or whatever, and you could find multiple different places that Kennedy had a secretary on the cabinet named Lincoln had a secretary on the cabinet named Kennedy. Kennedy had a secretary named Lincoln. That's just one of 50 impossible synchronicities. So in each case, so I hear somebody yelling at me that they could have planted the historical record. That doesn't even mean it actually happened. But as you go investigate it, they planted the historical record at the University of Virginia. They planted the historical record at Vassar University in their rare books room, and it's all that. Somebody, just a whole team of men in black came in, and the Adjustment Bureau, and created, and wherever it didn't, it's easy now, Matt, because it's all on digital record. The AI can do whatever it wants with the internet, maybe, but I'm saying most of these things with Kennedy to Lincoln, you can go find physical books and sources that back up the impossible synchronicities. So even if it didn't happen, the planting of the false historical record is still basically impossible. Unless it literally is the Adjustment Bureau. Men in black can come in, walk through portals, come out the other end of the city, and a whole host of reality buttons and levers for things, shit we going on we don't understand. Which, if you want to explain it like that, then I'll applaud you, because at least you've now climbed out of the toy box. So it's just these YouTube channels and BitTube channels. I mean, guys, just when you watch this stuff, is the presenter taking it seriously? If not, there's hope. Thanks for watching or listening.